Hello, hello, hello. How are you all today? What's going on? This is The Conversation with Stevie, where we uncover the why behind what people do. And so I am Dr. Stevie Mills, super excited to be here. And just to let you know what I do, I really concentrate on helping Christian women to use their knowledge and expertise to make money online. I do that because I want you to be able to have a life and business that you absolutely love, being able to run it from anywhere around the world. And so today I'm super excited because we have such an amazing guest, you all. Her name is Joy. Joy, how are you today?
I'm doing great, Dr. Stevie. How are you doing?
Doing good. Thank you so much for asking. I believe that the best introduction that one can do is of themselves. So please do go ahead and introduce yourself.
Well, my name is Joy Anciano, and I am a certified financial education instructor and also a financial coach. And what I do is I help women get over that living paycheck to paycheck by giving them tools that empower them, educate them, and give them encouragement so that they can stop living paycheck to paycheck.
Oh, my goodness, that is so incredible. Trust and believe. I understand completely what it means to go from a place where you have no money to where you have money in your bank account, because 5 years ago, I was evicted from my own home because I couldn't figure out $800 within 30 days in my business. Mm-hmm. So when you say that, that hits home for me because I understand the importance of knowing about the finances. You know, thank God now I've become a multiple six-figure earner, but my heart is still for people to know about this money, because I think that once we understand the money, then we get it, right? But if we don't have an opportunity to understand it, then we'll not. And so just talk about that. Talk about the knowledge and education that it takes for us to change our money mindset.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned money mindset, because that's really kind of where I start, because so many of us grew up without that, that financial background. You know, maybe our parents didn't teach us because they didn't know. In schools, they didn't teach it a lot, maybe one time a year. So since it's not that consistent, I find myself, plugging in holes and, getting rid of, misconceptions that people have about money. But the mindset, they think that, I can't do this. My parents are like this, so I'm going to do the same thing. Or I tried making budgets and making this thing work, and I just can't do it. So I really try to focus on the mindset, because when you have that mindset, you have a goal as to why you need to do this. And then you can fight through those days where, it may be a little bit of struggle because you're not seeing the results that you may want to see. So mindset is the key, and I try to let people know you really do need to have a budget. It's not a dirty, ugly word, but it's a mindset, it's a life plan, it's a spending plan. It's just a tool that's going to help you be in charge of your money instead of your money being in charge of you. So that's really kind of where I like to start with people.
Awesome. And so how can we really begin the steps to tap into developing a budget?
Well, you need to have, again, that right mindset. But once you have that, I teach people how to make SMART goals. The SMART goals, people have probably heard those before when it comes to business. But you want to have something that's specific. So, like if you're planning for a vacation, something very specific, the amount you need, the time frame that you need it, and what are you going to do to reach that goal. Then you have to take a look at, what am I making? What is the income that I'm bringing in? And then what's going out? Tracking your expenses. That's one of the hardest things for people to do, and it's also the biggest eye-opener for a lot of people, because they don't really see that when they're out and about in their daily lives, this dollar here, that $5 there, that $10 over a week adds up to a huge chunk of money. Over a month, it's even bigger. So that's where a lot of the holes in your money comes from. So just, getting started with that, that's a big eye-opener for people, and it helps them to say, okay, I need to start really honing in on these skills and, getting my budget together.
Awesome. And where did you really learn all the things that you know about finances? Where is your why?
Well, my why kind of happened like you. At first I was a teacher. I was an elementary teacher for 18 years. At the time, my daughter was going with me to school. My husband and I, we were having just a great life. Everything was going well. And I ended up being diagnosed with a chronic illness where I could no longer teach. I didn't have the endurance to go out. And now we're stuck with a mortgage, 2 car notes, student loans, and medical bills, and, 1 paycheck. So we were struggling month to month to make sure we could stay in the home and do everything. And I would Google and I would go on YouTube and I would try to find all this information to find out what to do to help us out. But I would get conflicting information sometimes that's out there. One financial guru would say, you need to do this. But another one would say, well, you need to do that. And I was just getting frustrated and confused. So I would take a little bit from here and there, kind of worked it together for my own thing. And then I also went and got my certified financial education instructor certificate, and that provided a lot of background. So it really was trial and error, and then the knowledge that I gained from actually taking a course in it.
Wow. That's amazing that you were able to really take yourself and really expound on what it is that you were going through personally too, because a lot of people, they might think that they met you today and not through the standpoint of the trials and tribulations that you may have had financially. So I definitely want to ask you, what is the one thing that we overlook in our finances that would be a quick and easy fix for people to implement?
One of the things that it can work for, getting just paying your bills, getting down on debt, is negotiating with, lenders and negotiating with people at utilities. Because if you're finding yourself where you're not able to pay so much, or you need to have a season where you need to, bring your bills down so that you can do something else, you can reach out and just say, hey, I'm going through this. Can I get a month where you can just let me not pay this month? Or, you can work out. And a lot of times they're very, thankful that you're coming to them in the first place and they don't have to hunt you down. And then most of the times they're very agreeable to doing that. So I would say, definitely when you find yourself in a spot where you need to, maybe cut down a little bit, reach out to your, your credit card agencies, your utilities, your mortgage, the car note. Reach out to them and see if they're able to do something for you to kind of help you get through the little hurdle that you may be in.
When it comes to specifically getting your finances together, do you feel that debt can be okay in some circumstances, or do you think we need to abolish all debt?
That is such a great question. And so there actually are, there's good debt and there's bad debt. But I think it's, I leave it up to the person because it's what you want. We have some people who say, okay, no, I don't want to be in debt at all. And so for them, it makes sense to do that route where they're going to pay off their mortgage totally. They're going to pay off everything. And so, you make a strategy for that. But then there's some people who say, I just want to get things paid down enough. I'm okay with having open credit cards, so I can use them later, or I just want to, make sure I have that good credit. Then there's a strategy for that. So it's really personal. But you can. I mean, like I said, there's good debt and there's bad debt. If you're a business owner, you want to have, the online, the credit that you need to do the things that you need to do. Mortgage is considered a good debt because it's something that's going to appreciate and potentially give you some income. So it just depends on what your financial goals are.
Do you find that people are in a space now, now that we have been through this COVID thing, we've been quarantined, do you think it helped people to really learn how to save money? Just your opinion. I'm thinking about the people who we had to learn how to stock up. When the pandemic first began, we had toilet paper issues and all kinds of stuff. And so I'm just trying to think about how our spending habits have changed. Do you think people have become more spenders or savers during this time?
I definitely think it's more spending. I mean, I have to admit myself, more spending because everything has become so, at your doorstep because it had to be. People weren't going out. So people, you notice that Amazon, all their orders picked up because people are at home buying stuff. Grubhub and DoorDash and all those types of food deliveries picked up. Instacart, I don't know if that's all over the United States, but it's a grocery delivering service. I know I had to use that a couple of times. So I think people are definitely used to having place an order online and then having your stuff come to you because you don't want to go out or you're scared to go out, whatever. So I think we definitely spend more.
Well, I can tell you Instacart is a thing over here where I live. We use Instacart a lot, and I definitely agree with you about the Grubhub, DoorDash, all these things. But the cool thing about that, and I'm glad that you brought that up too, is that we've been able to have more money come through that too, because the gig economy, which is a big thing, people have been able to sign up to be Uber drivers and Grubhub deliverers and Instacart shoppers. So that is the cool thing as well. So speaking along those lines, what I want to ask you is, what do you think are some ways that people can bring more money inside of their homes?
Well, one of the things that we did, one of the first things we did was, since we didn't have much coming in, we had we sold a lot of things. There's a lot of things sitting around the house. My daughter was 9 at the time. She wasn't playing with a lot of things. She read a lot of books. So we ended up having a sale, yard sale, going to places where they would buy back computer games and things like that. So trying to sell what you're not using, and it clears up the clutter for you, but it also will bring you some extra money in. One thing that's great about now, you mentioned how the pandemic is a terrible thing, but it has actually opened up doors for people like, getting jobs like, Uber and Lyft. My husband did that for a little bit, but also people who have knowledge of things. You can build a course. You can, sell things online now. People have a lot of different skills that they've acquired through life, which now you can actually monetize, on the internet. So that's been a great thing. So take a look into that. A lot of people are getting into the e-commerce space. So, there's different things that you can do. You just have to open your eyes to the possibility, and again, have that mindset that, I may be strapped for cash, but what can I do? This is an obstacle, but you got to be creative and look to see what you have in your hands to do what you need to do.
Amen, and absolutely. And I know that our time is winding down. There is a question that I ask every guest who comes and have the conversation with me, and it is a fill-in-the-blank question, and it goes, Dr. Stevie, we cannot leave the conversation today without everyone knowing, and then fill in the blank.
I want everybody to know that you can take control of your money. It is absolutely possible. You don't have to be driven by things that happened in your past. You may have credit issues, debt issues, but they can be fixed. You just have to take that first step. And it may be a little slow at first. You may feel like giving up, but trust me, it is worth doing it, taking those action steps and just getting out there and doing it.
I love that, yes, and yes. And so I want to thank you, first off, for coming by and having a conversation with me. And second off, I definitely want to make sure we get your contact information. Well,
you can find me. I have a website, yourmoney.now.site. And I am on Facebook as myself, Joy Anciano. And I also have a Facebook business page, Joy Protect. And I do believe that's also my Instagram. I'm sorry, I'm one of these people who are kind of getting into Instagram all the way. But I do have an Instagram, and I do believe it is Joy Protect.
Perfect. Well, thank you again. Y'all definitely connect with Joy, because I can teach you all day long how to make money, but it takes somebody to protect your money, child, and you need to have it protected. Listen, definitely connect with Joy. Make sure that you know how to make your money work for you. Definitely let her know that she is valuable and that you heard her right here on the Conversation with Stevie. So what I want to tell you is to connect with me, all you need to do is to know how to spell my first name correctly, and that is Stevii, again, Stevii, and you can go to workwithstevie.com. And I always, in every conversation and everything else I do, literally the same way, and it's to say, make it a great day, don't have a great day, make it a great day. Why? Because you, and yes, you too have the power to do so. Bye for now.